Hi, my name is Colin Fain. I'm the CEO of Agronometrics, and today I want to have a look at the data that we have in the Global Trade Data Service for the United Kingdom. And it's a very interesting destination. There's not a whole lot of fruit that's produced in the United Kingdom. They do have production, but they have a lot of challenges with that. But it's a very interesting market for imports. As you can see, like looking at the last 18 months, they pretty much supplement their internal production, which would be mostly like in the summer months, so like right around this dip, with imports year round from almost everywhere. And this is a bit of a unique situation that we don't see in that many markets, because it kind of gives us like a feel for how the entire globe's production, especially from the countries that service Europe, so it's going to be Europe internally, Spain, Poland, so on and so forth, as well as South Africa and Africa, that also has a colonial relationship from back in the day. It's one of the major exporting markets for South Africa, and as well as Latin America. So Peru and Chile have a big role in the UK market as well. So you kind of get bits and pieces from everywhere, and we get to look at this and tell a bit of a story. So here's the last 18 months. We just got the data in through December. So we're closing out 2023, and this is pretty well enclosed. Like there might be some adjustments that come in after the fact, but they're usually pretty good about giving us good data points. When we look at the last 10 years, we can see right off the bat that the last 2 years, the UK volumes have decreased. This is coming from several reasons. One of them is imports that they're receiving from Spain have gone down considerably in the last 2 years, specifically, pretty much in line with what we're seeing with the total sum. At the same time, Morocco has gone up. There's a big jump after 2021. That's not necessarily because Morocco started sending that much more volume to the UK. That's because of Brexit. And that's kind of like some of the intricacies of these data sets. Before Brexit, a lot of this volume that came in from Morocco was then reported as an import from Spain, which was the first port of entry into the EU. Now that the UK is out of the EU, they report their imports directly from origin. That better represents at least the volumes that are coming in from Morocco. South Africa has been growing consistently. Peru has been growing consistently, with the exception of this year, which we've covered ad nauseum. Chile has also gone down. That reflects more of a kind of like a demand or supply side situation from Chile, which I also just covered in a video recently. So when we look at month to month and how this has compared, we're going to clean this up a bit. Look at 2022 compared to 2023. We see there's right off the bat two big holes. The first one is the production from Spain and Morocco, which came in shorter than expected. And again, this is like why looking at the UK data is interesting. It gives us kind of like a bit of like a well-wrapped insight into how, at the very least, like the European market is being serviced by the different providers around the world. You can see right in June, July, the supplies this month were actually pretty good. A lot of that is volume coming in from Poland. And then you had Peru. And so September, October, November has gone down considerably. September, October especially, and then November, December, when Chile starts coming on the scene, you start seeing an improvement in the volumes on the market. Let's look at the prices. And this is also an interesting story because it's impressive, the amount of growth and the fact that the growth in pricing has been sustained pretty much throughout the entire year. So you have that issue that we saw at the beginning with the less than expected volumes coming out of Morocco and Spain. Those kind of started off the higher pricing. I'm surprised that even in June, July, when we saw larger volumes than last year get to the market, the higher pricing was sustained. Like the margin was lower, um, but sustained. And then this is also to be expected. Like the shortfall in production from Peru um, offered better pricing at the end of the year, and that's exactly what we expected, and that's what we got. Um, so the pricing in the UK market was really really good. Now I kind of want to like look at an abstraction of the volume and the pricing by looking at value. And this is really interesting, especially when we compare the previous trends and this graph in particular, because even though we saw the last couple of years the volumes go down, the amounts of dollars at the very least that is being spent on blueberries in the UK market has grown pretty consistently. And there's a hiccup here around 2019, 2020. Arguably, this could be Brexit and a bit of like the insecurity around what Brexit would actually mean for consumers. Maybe they were holding back and keeping more money in their pocket, or not spending as extravagantly um, on blueberries at the very least. Um, but then we've seen that take off even through the pandemic. So we got the 2022 data. We've got, I mean, 2021. Like we've seen steady growth out of the UK market. So this kind of goes in contrast to what we're seeing with volumes. I mean, if you look at volumes, you see this growth until 2021 and then a stagnation. And you're like, you could think, okay, maybe the British economy is not taking to this commodity as well as we thought. Um, what the value is telling you is no. Like the British population is hungry for blueberries, and they're not getting enough of them. Granted, some of the issues that are causing the shortfall in supply are our supply side. So there's nothing you could have done to bring many more blueberries to the UK market when Peru's shortfall. You could have taken away from other markets, but they were also short because of Peru. So they were also fighting for whatever was available. With Spain and Morocco, it was a bit the same story. So if there's more supply to reach the UK market, it will very happily be consumed. And if this trend continues, then that's a very positive story. So I think this was very interesting to me, having a look at it. I want to go a little bit deeper. I want to look at what role does the UK have inside of Europe. So to do that, we're going to click on this Europe tab right here. You can actually also go here, but either way, we want to look at Europe as a region, and this pulls up Europe as a region. We got the nice little maps, some summary statistics, and we're going to look at imports. Granted, all of the information for Europe as a region has not been closed out as of yet. So, for example, Germany only has the information until November. We'll look at that later on. But we want to see how the UK is faring as one of the major consumers in the European market. And I actually kind of want to compare it to Germany. That's the other major market for consumers. So we're going to look at how to do that with the data. So we've got Europe fresh import volumes. We're going to click on the chart link, and I kind of already have that opened up. So that's the chart link. And by default, the information that we have available in the system is comparing partner subregion. So we actually don't want to look at partner subregion. We want to look at reporter. So the individual country that's reporting. The way that we do that in the system is we go to this drop-down list that has all the parameters that you can build and click on Reporter, an arrow. So I already have that one pulled up. And so this is segregated by the top 5. It's the top 5 producing countries or importing countries. There's a couple that we're going to discard right from the back. So the Netherlands, imports and then re-exports. Spain, same thing. Others is everybody else. That's those volumes are much smaller than Poland, for example. There's just a lot of them. So we're taking that one out, and Poland's not the subject of this video, so that leaves us Germany and the UK. And we'll expand on it. And this is an interesting dynamic. Again, Germany hasn't completed reporting. We still don't have the numbers for December, so this will tick up a bit at the very least. And we can see how these two origins, even though UK was really, really strong back in 2016, was where the difference between Germany and the UK was the biggest. It kind of leveled off a bit, and then we saw a decrease in the last 2 years. Okay, so how has this been different with regards to value? So you can go up here to measure, click on value, and I already have that chart pulled up and everything's all cleaned up. So this is the value of imports for Germany and the UK. And you can see how the UK was very, very strong around 2019. They kind of sunk down. My going theory, take it for what it will. There's no actual science behind it. It's a theory. Is Brexit might have had have something to do with this slump, and then confidence has been coming back into the market, and we're seeing the UK continue to grow as an attractive market for blueberries. And considering that there's less volume coming into the UK than Germany, but the value is similar, that means that pricing is generally speaking going to be higher in the UK. And we can actually look at that as well. I didn't think of this when I was setting up the video, but you know what? Here we'll look at pricing. So you go down and you click on weighted price when this takes. And the report will populate. And what we'll get is, based on the volumes, the top 5 origins, the prices of the top 5 origins that are reporting in this market. So we're going to clean it up the same way. We don't care about the average. We don't care about the Netherlands, others, Poland, or Spain. And this gives us a pretty straightforward comparison of what the CIF value for imports of blueberries are, generally speaking, for the UK market compared to the German market. Hopefully this is a tool that can be useful for anybody that has access to the service. You can obviously look at this monthly. You can get into a lot more depth and detail with it. Just for reference, because we've spoken about it so much, I pulled up the German report, and we can see the information that's missing. So here, volumes are pretty well reported up till November, but I guarantee you that there's a lot more volume that's coming in December. Even though Peru was short, it wasn't this short. So these numbers will be adjusted. It's 1/12 of the volume, maybe less, maybe like a tenth of the volume, or who knows. I'd have to make a calculation, but there's a month of volume missing, and so that's going to have an effect, obviously, on the total for volumes when we're comparing them to the UK market. The pricing will be short, as well as the value. So this number will ultimately be higher, and we'll be able to have a better comparison of how attractive is the German market compared to the UK market. In the meantime, I hope that you found this little study or look at the data that we have available interesting. And we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.